What is up, guys? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you tonight with some more PTCGO. And today we're actually going to be looking at a list that I've been kind of thinking about a little bit for a while now, and I'm sure some of you probably have as well. And the list that I'm thinking of was actually a Ho-Oh Salazzle combined with Garbotoxin Garbodor, which sounds a little odd, but just hear me out. So the original thought was with the new Solgaleo that's coming out, who knows when. Originally we thought that it may have been coming in the Ultra Prism set. Now it's sounding like it's not. So this idea may go on the back burner for a little bit, but that was the main reason. So that new Solgaleo, what it does, if you don't know, it shuts off all of the weaknesses on their side of the field. So obviously metal is going to be really, really big, and once people were hearing metal was really big, they're like, hey, I'll just play Volk or Ho-Oh Salazzle or some fire deck, and I'll be fine. But then they talked about the new Solgaleo, and of course that shuts off weaknesses. So there had to be an answer to that. And in Pokemon, it seems like there's always an answer. And to me, the answer to a Pokemon like that is a deck like this, where you play its weakness and then play something to shut off its abilities. So originally I intended this list to be for that. When I went to Memphis, I decided to actually use this in a little side tournament. I would have done a lot better had I not misplayed so hardcore. I literally put the deck together. I was Erica and I were there, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to build it. I'm going to use it for this tournament, just see how it does. Like, there's really not anything on the line, so why not? So I actually sit down and I'm paired up against someone playing Volk. So that was kind of, didn't exactly know how that matchup would go. They obviously had the weakness advantage, hitting me with their Volks, which of course are part water, so they could hit my Salazzles and my Turtonators. But Ho-Oh was able to kind of, prevent that a little bit. And then Garb was able to shut off the Steam Up ability. So his Turtonators couldn't one-shot my Ho-Ohs unless they had a choice band. That was the only option. There was no Steam Up option. So it was possible, but we were kind of exchanging back and forth. So basically it came down to I Guzma'd, and I meant to Guzma a Volcanion to one-shot it, going down to, may have been just one prize or down to my last two or something, probably down to my last two. And so I went to Guzma, went for the Volk, but my brain and my hand weren't thinking the same thing, and I went for his Turtonator, which of course would still have 10 HP left over, and so from there he was able to survive and come back and beat me. So misplay was really the only reason that this lost. But anyway, so like I said, it was originally intended for that new Solgaleo, but I think that even now it could be decent. I'm not going to say it's going to be great right now, but it's a potential idea, just kind of keep in your back pocket. Guardy has kind of gone off the radar a little bit. It's not gone. I'm not going to say it's gone, but it seems like people are very much on the Lycanroc Zoroark hype train. Pretty much any Zoroark list or Buzzwole or Lycanroc, like those are the top three right now. And Guardy's, it's out there. It's still a contender, but people know how to beat it now. They know how to play against it. In a deck like this, you can actually do very well if you play it right. You can outspeed them. You can use Garb to shut off the ability so they can't set up their energies quick enough. And that's what's critical, is if you go second, you want to use Kiawe no matter what, because you want to set up Ho-Oh. But if you go second, you run the risk of them evolving into a Guardy on their second turn and just wiping you out. But even if they get a Fairy Energy turn 1, evolve into Guardy on their second turn, and we have our 4, they would have to get a DCE to knock us out. So that's their one condition, or I'm sorry, DCE or Fairy Energy choice band, if we have their ability shut off at that point. And to get that combo all at once, it's not always going to happen. It's possible, but it's not always going to happen. And likely, if you're smart in that matchup, you'll keep your Ho-Oh being built up on your bench and save it for that right time to take a KO. Right now it could be possible. And that's why I wanted to showcase the list tonight, because I wanted to see if maybe it could do well against some things that are online right now. So we will hop into this list, take a peek at it, and then we'll get some matches. Okay, and sorry guys, just so you know, there may be some odd cuts in this video. My wife is working tonight, and so I've got both the kiddos, and they're actually both kind of sick. So I have to check on them every now and then, and sometimes they get up and cry, so I got to take care of that. But anyway, let's hop into this list. So obviously, starting off, we play 3 Ho-Oh. This will be pretty much our main attacker for the majority of the game, especially the beginning. It's there to take fast knockouts. That's the whole point of it. Just speed. So mainly you're going to focus on Phoenix Burn, 180 damage. In this Pokemon, can't use Phoenix Burn during your next turn. Pretty similar to Volcanion. You find ways to work around it. Then Sacred Fire. This is one advantage that it does have over Volcanion, is it has a secondary attack that it could use. And what that attack does is 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can snipe. It's good to kind of finish things off. Maybe you hit someone who, maybe you hit a Gardy, okay, and you hit it for 180, and it doesn't go down, but they don't heal for some reason, they don't hit the right cards or whatever. You can snipe it, or you can snipe first, prep for it, and then kind of catch them off guard if they're not paying close attention to that. So those are the 2 main attacks. You're not going to use its GX attack where you put 3 fire Pokemon, GX or EX, from your discard onto your bench. You're not going to use that in this list. Not worth your time. Next we have a 2/2 Salazzle GX line. This is a great card. I think it's kind of underrated in some senses. For one, it's probably the cheapest fire attacker, like consistently across the board. Just 2 fire energy, that's all you need. To do 110, it's pretty solid. I mean, you think of some other cards. I'm thinking of Decidueye. Swings for 90 with 3 energy. I know one's a DCE, so only 2 attachments, but still costs a little bit more. So it's a little bit more reliability against Gardy and Lele. So Salazzle swings for 20 more for only 2 fire energy, so that's pretty solid. And it has Diabolical Claws, and this is the attack that you're going to focus on mostly. You do 50 damage for each prize card that you have taken. So like I said originally, Ho-Oh is going to come in, take down a few Pokemon. Really the goal is to do a quick Lele knockout and then another GX knockout, and you're down 4 prizes. Then you bring Salazzle in to take out the last big knockout with Diabolical Claws. So you're swinging for 200 there, 230 with a Choice Band. Just really solid numbers. Next, we are looking at 2 Turtonator GX. These are great Pokemon. For one, they just kind of stall your opponent for a little bit, and you can use Shell Trap for double colorless. And during the next your opponent's next turn, if they attack Turtonator, they get a damage counters placed on them. So a lot of people know how to work around this. I mean, you've got Guzma. There's ways around it. They're likely not going to avoid attacking unless they can't get that Guzma, and it'll totally knock them out the next turn. Typically, that's not going to happen. A lot of people know how to work around it, but it is great to put them in that awkward situation because if they're using a Guzma, that means they're not ending you. That means they're not using an Acerola. A lot of these key cards that they could be using, they're not because they're trying to get around your Shell Trap. And then, of course, Bright Flame. Solid number, 160, and you discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. So that's kind of the downside to it, but it is a great number to hit because with a Choice Band, of course, you're taking on Lele's, Boolus, Ho-Ohs, other Turtonators, Volcanions, just all these big basics, and it hits the 190, not just the 180. So that's a solid thing about Turtonator. And then also Nitro Tank GX. This will be the GX attack that you use. What you do is you attach 5 fire energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. So this is, I don't know, I guess it could be late game, but it could also be early game. Typically you're going to use this late game, and what you're going to do is, once one of your Ho-Ohs have gone down, probably had 4 energy on it, you bring up Turtonator, you set up 2 attackers, and then obviously your opponent can only take one of them, and the other one is there to start swinging again. So really solid. And I just realized something, guys. I did not include a baby Volcanion, and I just realized why. Because I put in an extra Gizmo when I was editing this earlier. So give me 2 seconds. Let me add this to here real quick. We're playing well without it, so maybe we won't need it, but I'm going to put it in because I feel like it's necessary in pretty much any fire deck. So, next card, we have one Volcanion. What we're going to focus on is Power Heater. Choose 2 of your bench Pokemon and attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. So this card is used a little bit differently in this list. Typically, you're going to see this in a list that runs Volcanion EX. You're going to steam up a couple times early on. You're going to swing for 80, potentially 110 with a Choice Band, and you're going to attach those 2 fire energy back onto your bench, whether it's a Ho-Oh, Turtonator, or Volcanion. That's typically what's going to happen. In this list, you're really focused on using your Max Elixirs, using your Kiawe, getting your Pokemon set up right then and there. So Volcanion is kind of like a backup setup, if that makes sense. You don't always have to depend on this at the beginning of the game. You could also use it later in the game, excuse me, to try to set up 2 attackers at the same time. That's kind of what it's there for. It's not really there for the beginning of the game like you're used to. So one thing to keep in mind there. And then, of course, you do have Steam Artillery. Does 100 damage. If you have the option, you attack with Ho-Oh or you attack with Turtonator. The Steam Artillery attack, though, could be decent against something like a Baby Ninetales or a Hoopa, because you'll need a non-EX or GX Pokemon to fight them. Next, Tapu Lele GX. It has that Wonder Tag ability. That is there to get your Kiawes mostly. Beginning of the game, that is the focus. And then last, we run a 2-2 Garbotoxin Garbodor line. Does not matter what Trubbish you use, you're not going to be attacking with it. They both have same HP, same retreat cost, so it doesn't matter. Pick your poison. But this is the odd part of the list. We are just shutting off abilities. That's the goal. We're slowing down our opponent while we speed through things and take some big knockouts. That's kind of the target for this deck, and that's what we're hoping we can do. And real quick, one thing I forgot to mention. So with Salandit, I know the basics aren't always the most important, but there are a couple different Salandit options. Let's see. Yeah, use this one. It has the 70 HP, and obviously it's fire, so you can attack with it. You're not going to have to really... Yeah, okay. For some reason, I thought there was a third Salandit. Okay. But yeah, obviously use the fire one. It's a fire deck. It makes the most sense. Moving on. Item cards. We have 2 Field Blower. Really, this is just to potentially take away Choice Bands, Float Stones, just to shut off people's retreating or their additional damage. You don't have to worry about Garbotoxin in this list. The only thing that you have with abilities is your Garbotoxin and your Lele. And if you have your Garbotoxin set up, you're really not worried about it. But like I said, this is to remove Fighting Fury Belts to knock things out, Choice Bands, Float Stones, whatever you need to. That's what it's there for. And potentially, you could do the spicy little play where you Field Blower your own Garbotoxin Garb so that you can play Lele with the potential of setting that Garbotoxin back up. Next, we have 4 Max Elixirs. We all know what this does. You look at the top 6 cards of your deck, you pick a fire energy, or a basic energy, and attach it to a basic Pokemon on your bench. It's a fantastic card. Definitely include 4 in this list. Next, we do have 1 Rescue Stretcher. This is just to get back any critical Pokemon that we may need. Like I said, Salazzle is going to be more late game, so sometimes early on you'll discard 1 because it's not as important right then. And so you can get it back in a clutch play near the end if you really need to. You can get back a Lele and dig for a supporter. So just a lot of neat uses for it. Next, we do have 4 Ultra Ball. This is to search out, obviously, any of our Pokemon and potentially get some fire energy into the discard pile. Next, we do run 3 Guzma, as we saw. And like I said, you're taking big knockouts. So Guzma is there to do that. You are going for your 2 prize Pokemon. You're not going for these little babies. It's not worth your time. You're going for the big knockouts, 2 big knockouts, and then bring out Salazzle, start swinging. Also, what this is great for is to reset your Ho-Ohs because they, like I said, they can only attack once, and then they can't do it the next turn. So that is what that is there for. Typically, you'll Guzma into like a Garbotoxin with a Float Stone on it, and retreat out of it for your Ho-Oh to start attacking again. Then we also have 2 Kiawe. This is just to guarantee that we get our 4 energy on board first turn, preferably 5. If we have a fire energy in our hand, we can do 5 total with, on 2 separate Pokemon. And then the dream is to combine Kiawe, fire energy, max elixir, and your board's just rocking. So that is the dream. Then for draw supporters, we have 4 N and 3 Sycamore. Pretty consistent with those. The only counts that I wish might be a little bit higher would be Guzma and Sycamore, obviously, just to bump those up to 4. But I don't think these are too low. I think they're pretty solid. And then we have 4 Choice Band to hit the perfect numbers. Ho-Oh will be hitting 210. That takes on your Zoroarks. Pretty much any stage 1 in the game, other than what Gyarados, what does it have? 240, and Alolan Muck has 220. But we don't really see many of those right now, so no need to worry about those. Right now we're taking down the big ones, Lycanroc, Zoroark, things like that. Buzzwole has 190. Other Ho-Ohs have 190. Turtonator has 190. So you need those Choice Bands to bump you up over that 180 mark. And then we have 4 Floatstones. This is mainly to activate Garbotoxin. And then, of course, the odd clutch play here and there to get your active out of the active spot so your Ho-Ohs can attack. And then we round off with just 13 fire energy. We can afford to play a little bit of a lower count in this list because we are not doing things like steam ups, so we don't have to focus on that as much. And actually, okay, so I was going to build this based off the list that I took in Memphis, but that deck box has gone missing, and I'm very upset about that. So I didn't have the exact list, and I feel like I had this down to 10 fire energy when I played that, and it was pretty solid. So I'll have to maybe look at this again in the future, maybe drop that to 10, bump Guzma up, bump Sycamore up, and either toss on a switch or bump Volcanion up to 2, but probably a switch. So maybe that'll be a future video where we revisit this list once we see how it does. So now, guys, we are going to hop onto the ladder and see how we can do. Okay, awesome. So it looks like this is going to be a Lycanroc Zoroark list, so we can see how it goes against that. That'll be interesting, because that's something I haven't seen in the testing I've done. Alright, so we get to go first. That's awesome. So we need to get Kiawe. And no, we're not going to get it. Lovely. Okay, but we get to take a mulligan. That's good news. Alright, so it's Lycanroc with Zoroark. And we get N. Guess we play that all down. Try to dig for some elixirs. Not a single one. There's Kiawe. Alright, and we will just pass. I'll have to use a Kiawe next turn. I would love to get another bench Pokemon, though. Preferably another Ho-Oh. I can attach one to this Ho-Oh and then Kiawe onto the other. So I could potentially get 2 started. So we'll probably see, what, 2 Rockruffs and a Zorua? Probably. Yep. Good thing we do have, though, is Ho-Oh is resistant to fighting, so it kind of negates that 20 extra damage from the strong energy. Ooh, and look at that, we get to shut off abilities, just like that. And then we'll just... No, we're not going to do that yet. We'll leave him there. Cool. Alright, I feel pretty good about our start. The biggest downside, though, is we have no other Pokemon, so we're just relying on that one Ho-Oh. But Garb is up, so Lycanroc doesn't do his thing. Zoroark can't do its thing. I imagine, though, they play Field Blowers. But do they play enough? Yep, there's one. And that's fine. So we just don't want him to get a DCE and to get into the active, because if he does, he takes down Garb, and that's really not good for us. If we top deck Choice Band on this, we'll be in a great spot, because then we can take down the Zoroark. But I guess if we don't get Choice Band, we could still Guzma, bring up their Lele and take a knockout on it. That's one option. Okay, does he have DCE? No. Oh, he's gonna use Corner. That's fine. We can take down Lele. Oh no, we have Choice Band. We're taking down a. We're definitely taking down a Zoroark. And we're gonna start prepping. And what we'll prep is a Salazzle. So I have a feeling we're gonna take some easy prizes this game. Because once we take down a Zoroark, I'm hoping to maybe get like a Lele. If not, everything else in his list we can one-shot as long as that Choice Band sticks. And he'll only be able to dig once. Because one of his Zoroarks is now dead. So there we go, taking the first two prizes, and that is, as I've said, the key to this deck. And there's our Salazzle, there's the other energy to go with it, and we have a Sycamore. So things are looking good. Things are looking great. There's an N. Okay, that's not bad. We'll let him build up our hand size a little bit. I really liked our hand, though. Ugh. It just got really bad. 50, 71, 90. Alright. He just wasted his GX attack. Alright. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We get to take a knockout. Yeah? Okay. Well, touch. Let me make sure. Yeah, we do. Alright. Well, Guzma. We'll bring up his other Zoroark. Like I said, guys, this is where things get tricky and we kind of start to lose steam. Because once Ho-Oh's gone, we really have nothing as a backup, which is scary. We have Ultra Ball, though, so we can get our Salazzle, have Fire Energy, so we'd be swinging for 200, which is perfect for a Lele or for a Lycanroc. So we're fine in that respect. We just have to hope Salazzle stays alive. That's going to be the scary part, because if he gets an energy... Yeah, an energy and Guzma, he would be so smart to take down. Well, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't be, because then if he takes down Salazzle, Ho-Oh's still here. So he's kind of in a catch-22. That's the great news for us right now. So we've kind of put ourselves in a good spot. He used a Sycamore instead of an N, so we're good with our hand. Yeah, Yeah, I think we... Oh, no, because now... Gosh dang it. Now we need a Choice Band because he got a Zoroark in play. That was something we did not fully anticipate. Oh, but check this out. Okay, let's get you guys on the bench so we don't draw into you. Yeah. So we have to try to hit... We have two Choice Bands, and we have to try to hit one of them off of our N to 2. That's not going to be easy. If we hit it, though, then that'd be amazing. Nope, don't hit it. And that's fine. Give me that discard. 6, 7, 8. This will be 9. And I guess we put it onto Volk. And I think we just hit him. Yeah. Diabolical Claws. He might play an Acerola, but anything else he brings up will be knocked out. 150. So if he got another strong energy and a choice band on his Lycanroc, he could take us out in one shot. But that's a pretty hefty combo, especially when one of the strong energies is in the discard. I haven't seen a choice band, which is interesting. Trying to think of our outs here. Yeah, really, we just gotta take down anything except for the Rockruff. We take down the Rockruff, that's fine. Then we take down the Rockruff, we swing for more. But we'd really rather just take the knockout now. So we just Kukui'd. Uh-oh. Oh, dude. So he's just gonna trap Garb in the active. Floatstone. Where's the Floatstone? He's gonna start swinging with Lele. Oh my gosh. Guys, it happened. Oh, come on. There we go. And we gotta give him the well played. That was a fun match. My gosh. I cannot believe we hit that on the end there. Whew. Alright. Awesome. Well, I think that'll probably close out this video for this list. Getting to see it go against kind of the two top-ish meta. Okay, Guardy's not really the top anymore, but Lycanroc Zoroark's kind of up there. So to see it go toe-to-toe with that was pretty exciting. I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I got the kiddos to take care of, so have to cut this one short for you guys, but be sure there will be more to come. But anyway, here's the list, guys. It's not really a secret. I've heard that some other people are possibly talking about it as well. But I'm actually kind of testing it out right now to see if it's worth our time. So if you enjoy the list, please be sure to like the video. And as usual, whether or not you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Hit the notifications buttons. Nothing's stopping you. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it really, really helps us out. So we really appreciate that, guys. And be sure to check out all of our other videos that are coming out this upcoming week. And we'll see you next time here in the Deck Box, where we want to know what's in your box. Have a great night, guys.